So what happens if you need money immediately? You've got bills to pay and so on. I know exactly how that was because when I was stuck for about 3 years, like I said, there was almost 7 times or so where I almost had to declare bankruptcy, where I was within a month or two of not being able to pay bills anymore. So I know how that is. First off, let me say that there are a lot of part-time jobs out there that can actually be fairly easy that pay $20 an hour or something. The great thing about that, as we'll discuss in the book, is your willpower is limited. So showing up to a job for 15 hours a week and making $300 that week isn't necessarily the worst thing. But if you want to do it yourself under your own power, or even if you want to start making money and start exploring entrepreneurship, there are a lot of good options. So obviously, something that kind of falls in between that is the platform economy that is a lot of times involved in the sharing economy. So a great thing that we go into in the book and in the free section, the free 75 pages that you can download and read right now, is things like Uber, Airbnb, and then a cool thing is Airbnb experiences, where you can come up with some sort of tour, experience, class, lesson, whatever you want to do, put it on Airbnb experiences, and oftentimes put a rate that's going to give you $100 an hour or more, and then you have them advertising that for you. So those are really cool. Now, there's all this stuff online. I've tested almost all of it while I was stuck about different ways to make money. First off, there's all this about passive income. Passive income is not really a reality. There are things where you can put in a large amount of upfront effort, start making money, back off, and then the money that you make from them will decline over time, but it will still keep coming in. That's kind of like passive income. The only other thing that's really passive income would be renting things out. So there's Airbnb to rent out a place, there's Turo to rent out a car. I think that there are sites where you can rent out power tools, which actually could be a really good thing. You could save up, $400, buy a highly demanded power tool and start renting that out, and you might be able to get relatively passive income, but you still have to manage that, list it, probably meet with whoever's renting it and so on. Those are very real things. But passive income per se, not particularly real. I wrote a niche book before this that wound up ranking on Google. I don't do much with it, and it continues to sell. Now, that's kind of passive income, but I put so much effort into getting it out there, writing it really well, putting it on a site that wound up ranking. And as I say, over time, if you don't do anything, that income from it just declines. So that's about as passive as it gets in the real world. Now, what are the common things that you see? You see, sell on Amazon, take things off Alibaba and then white label them and sell them on Amazon. There's so much competition in that, and there has been for a while, that I don't really recommend that. You can wholesale things onto Amazon, and we're going to talk about that in the book. That is a very real opportunity, but that's not really something when you need to get started right now, because there's setting up the relationships and so on. Another thing you hear about, retail arbitrage. Go out to stores when they're on clearance, buy it, sell it on Amazon. You can make $1,500 a day. Well, Amazon has cracked down on that so that if you don't have a relationship with either a wholesaler or the manufacturer themselves, in most brands, just about every brand on Amazon, any major brand from Nike to toys to whatever, they're just not going to allow you to sell the thing that you just bought at the store. If you try to sell those on eBay, the sales are very slow in most categories. It doesn't work very well. You can flip shoes on eBay, kind of, but on average you're going to get about $15 a shoe. So do the math. It's kind of rough. And what's more realistic is to flip higher value items. So there was this show on Discovery called Undercover Billionaire, and he went out and he found some tractor tires and then called somebody up who dealt with that kind of thing. Now, the reason this is a real opportunity is because there's nobody out there that understands all of these obscure things that can be worth a lot of money and then is willing to put in the effort to go out and find them. So most people probably aren't aware that tractor tires can be worth thousands of dollars, and then on top of that go out and search around until they find one tractor tire. So this guy found about 4. 3 of them were rotten to the point of not being useful, and then I think he did get about $1,500 from one tractor tire that he found at like a dump. So that's real, but you have to know what kinds of things have that kind of value, where to find them, and do a little bit of research. But that's a far more real opportunity, is to flip these higher value items. And there are definitely opportunities like that. Now, What I prefer the most is to do high value local services. And we're going to go into a good bit more depth on this in the free 75 pages that you can download and start reading right now to get started, and then even more in the book. But a great place to start if you need money right now is a high value local service. So I've done a lot of tutoring. Again, I have a master's degree from Stanford University. I have a background in high level, almost Olympic level ski racing, which makes me really good at analyzing what somebody's doing and helping them correct that. And that makes me an absolutely incredible tutor. So I can charge $80 to $100 an hour. I can put up a website in about a day. I can use my ability to use Google advertising, which we're going to talk about in the book, to go ahead and get that out there. And I can start making money as early as tomorrow at a rate of $80 to $100 a day, and an hour rather. And a lot of times that's an hour and a half per day. And then a lot of those become repeat customers. So one customer, maybe they get you for 10, 12 sessions and you make $1,500. So anything that you can do, a lot of times teaching, any kind of skill from piano to swimming, etc., anything that you're good at repairing, anything that you're good at helping other people do, if you can charge over $40 an hour or so, a lot of times because it's a local area, the number of people doing that service in the local area is limited, which means your competition is limited, which means your barrier to starting to get paid and out competing some of the local people and getting some of that business is really pretty low. You just have to know how to do a couple of things to grab some attention, be personable, and get those jobs. And that is my favorite thing to start making money right away. Now, it's not scalable, but that's part of the reason that it has low competition. And then that allows you to get this high dollar per hour so that you can make money, you can have funds to spend on building a more scalable and more proper business, maybe a product-based business, and not spend all of your time working while you do it. So that's my favorite thing. And again, we go into much greater depth on this in the free 75 pages of the book. So download that and start reading it right now. It's free. Love you guys.